First race at Doomben is over 2,200 metres, and I think this race sets up perfectly for Mashadi Vedra. 3 runs back from a break this time in have all been super, in particular last start in the Toowoomba Cup. And what is the key is the smaller field today. She hasn't got to round too many of them up. I think if she's close enough coming towards the bend, she'll get up and score. Woogok number 9, he dropped 6.5 kilos, this fellow. Jar out of the track suits him. It all looks good for him to be running top 2 or 3. Likewise, his stablemate Zar Beck, he's likely to go forward here. Just a slight concern with the big weight. So more on the place line and then follow suit. 2-9-1-4. On to race number 2, and we see 2-year-olds lining up here at Doomben. And I was really taken with Calix's maiden win. At the midweeks at Ipswich a couple of weeks ago, he jumped in front. Then Michael Cole took hold of him and he travelled beautifully in behind the leaders, and then he shoots clear and really put his ears back and looked great going to the line. There's no reason why he can't win again. Number 3, Caddick. To beat number 1, Magic Beans, his 3 runs back from a break have all been very good. He's holding form. Number 8, Gem of Scotland, she's 3 from 3. She's just got to pull out another good one here. And then number 4, Eric the Eel. But for him being green last start over the last 100, he would have won the race. 3-1-8-4. Third race on the card, and speed to burn here. We've got a lot of high-speed horses, so I was looking for a horse that's going to sit back 3 or 4 lengths off them and maybe get home over the top. I thought that might be Cool Draft's number 7. We've seen him rattle off some really good sectionals. Even last start, he was close up behind Natch there in Toowoomba, gave them a big start, ran on strongly down the outside, but he does need them to go fast early, the leaders. Meet Mr. Taylor, he's very good, 6 starts, 5 wins. I thought his recent trial was good. He didn't have his blinkers on that day. The alley is nasty though. Then number 3, I've got an L. I think he'll lead for a long way. And number 8, Power Command. 7, 2, 3 and 8. Race 4, we step it up to 1,600 metres here, and there's nothing wrong with the form of the grey, the Candyman. He's got a great record, this fella. He was good first up. He won here 13.50. I like him even better up to the mile. I think he can make it 3 from 3 here at Doomben. Number 12, Dan Says, was good last start. She ran on strongly in the race won by Le Juge, and he has since won again. Looks to track well from a good gate. Number 10, Ponytails, this horse-jockey combination have been very successful. She loves racing for Brad Stewart, Ponytails. She'll race in the first half dozen, and her effort behind Ruby Guru in Toowoomba was good enough. Then number 15, Borazon, he gets a good run in transit. 9, 12, 10 and 15. Another of the feature races at Doomben is coming up next. Race 5, the Aquas Tails. I'm going with number 8, Order again here, trained by Brian Smith. He's a master trainer. This horse hasn't been without a number of issues, but it looks as though Brian has got him spot on. He's ready to peak here third up to 1,600 metres. Given the ground is going to suit him for sure. Cool Chap, he's coming off a Group 2 placing in the Blamey at Flemington. Hasn't won for a long time, but that's good form for this. And then number 9, Tangled. Well, he hasn't won since he was a 2-year-old here at Doomben 706 days ago. But again, this is achievable for Tangled. This is his level, and his stablemate Chaotic. 8, 7, 9 and 5. On to race number 6. This is the Tab Ascot Handicap at Doomben. 1,200 metres is the distance. I find this a tricky race. Track conditions are very important. If it gets quite wet, then I'm not too sure, but I'm just going to take the punt on Keen Array. Really enjoying his new lifestyle on the Gold Coast. Now, his form up until the end of 2017 was fantastic. Last year it was moderate, but I thought his recent couple of trials at the coast have been super. I give him a great chance here if conditions suit. To beat number 4, Cold Stone, again, we don't really want it very wet for him, but I love the way he stretched out in a recent Deegan trial. I'm a Ripper. He probably leads here with Mr. Marbaloo's, and we know he's genuine and tough. And then you've got to throw Mr. Marbaloo's in despite a couple of moderate runs. Alrighty, folks, this 6th event on the card at Doomben kicks off the quaddie. Here are my recommendations. I wish you all the best of luck with today's Brisbane quaddie. Race 7 is the Spirit of Boom. Mick Dipman played for the 3-year-olds over the 1,110. Very good race. Again, track conditions are important here. If it's seriously rain affected, then a couple of these favourites, I think, come back to the field. And then we're looking at horses like Vega One and also Rock Beat. I think both of them will relish a wet track. But I'm going to stick with F Troop here. He's got the good gait. He won a jump out. He won a trial. I think he's back on song. Plaguestone is a very aggressive 3-year-old, but he's very talented. If he can harness that early speed and aggressiveness that he's got, he's a big show. And then Vega 1 and Rock Beat. On to race 8 on the card. This is the Ray White Ascot Princess Stakes. It's over 1,600 metres. I think the 3 Baccarat Baby is overpriced here. Let's face it, she's won 5 races compared to the opposition. She was 3/4 of a length off them in the Group 1 Flight Stakes when didn't have a lot of luck. Okay, you might think she's been a little bit disappointing in 2 runs back this time in. I don't entirely agree. I just want to see her go back, get a little bit of cover, and she does like the wet. To beat number 12 here, word for word. The likely leader here was very good on Mackenzo at Randwick, leading, giving a strong kick. She's talented. Number 11, Think Free, just didn't quite measure up against the older horses at Kembla. I think this is better for her from the good gate, and then light up the room to run on. 3, 12, 11 and 2. Well, the last at Doomben, race number 9, I think is the most open race on the card today. Ended up going with Value here and Apollo Boom, number 2. Now, prior to a spell, his form was great in his previous 8 starts. However, first up, you can see that duck egg there in the Weepwood handicap, but lots of excuses. He may as well have stayed home. It was just one of those races that didn't work out at all for him. It was very wide. The rider didn't knock him about. I think this is much better. To beat number 4, Torfik Boy, he's a must. Top 4 here. 7, Villadero, he's getting close to a win. I think it was only the 5.5 kilo pull in the weights that Ruby Guru was able to hold him last start in Toowoomba. He's better off here. And then number 15, So Spirit, he was huge in Toowoomba behind Wanterbolt. 2, 4, 7 and 15.